We got a Lourdes Gurriel and Teoscar Hernandez trade update, some more rumors on the Blue Jays trade front, and Ross Stripling, he hints at his Jays future on Twitter. All that and much more coming up on this episode of Jays Digest. What's up, Jays fans? I'm your host, Peter Vryonis, alongside Nick Gosse. We got a lot to unpack today, but before we get into the video, we want to remind you that we are on the road to 1K subs. We're almost there. We're so close. I think we're 20 away at the time of recording, and it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. It's just one click of a button, and you're subscribed to daily Blue Jays news. What's better than that?
Nothing. As you can see here, 89.7% of you are not subscribed. The number's been going up. We're finally out of the 90s, so keep it up. And again, like Peter said, we're so close to 1K, and the support's been amazing. It means the world to us, and we're gonna hit our goal soon. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow, whenever it is. I just want to thank you guys for that, and of course, we'll thank you again on the video that we happen to hit it. Probably next video, hopefully. But support's been unreal. Daily content will not stop ever, so we'll continue that. But we have a crazy video, with tons of topics to talk about. So let's just delve into the first one so we don't go too long. So this one is a Teoscar and Lourdes trade update. So The Athletic posted an article a few days ago, and they hinted at a pretty key piece regarding their, I guess, their future as Blue Jays. I'll bring it up here. So this is kind of like a question and answers with Jays reporters, and they said, I see Teoscar Hernandez and Lourdes Gurriel Jr. being mentioned frequently as trade candidates because they're only signed for 1 year. Does that make sense given there are 0 outfield prospects in Double or Triple A who would play outfield next year? Springer, Tapia, Bradley Zimmer. Now, before I get into the next screenshot, which kind of gives you the report, I wouldn't go as far as what they said, saying we have 0 outfield prospects. We have a few that I think could play outfield, but I guess they're being a bit harsh on that. But the answer was, to clear up confusion, speculation on trading Hernandez and Gurriel is about moving one of them, not both, and if one of them is traded, the Jays would likely do a counter move by free agency or trading, or they could bring a center fielder to move Springer. So the big thing here is that only one of them are going to be moved and not both. A lot of people in the comments of our videos and around Reddit and stuff like that have been saying that they should trade both, or that they could trade both to, fill a couple needs, but it's looking like they're only going to trade one and then fill the other void in free agency.
Yeah, well, I mean, their values aren't exactly the highest that they could be right now. Teoscar Hernandez coming off a down season, even though he's still produced and was still nominated for a Silver Slugger. Lourdes Gurriel, the power just wasn't there all season long, but they're still prime trade candidates. They're expiring contracts, very good pieces for a contending team. But I think the Blue Jays want to trade one of them, not necessarily to kind of free up some space or not have to sign them both. It's more to really extend their lineup and to change the way their lineup approaches hitting, and that's just the main focus I think for the Blue Jays. You want to trade either Teoscar Hernandez or Lourdes Gurriel for a switch hitter or for a left-handed hitting bat, and that's what you want. That you want more balance in this lineup.
Yeah, I agree. Clearly something has to change to some degree. And I think one of them may get moved this off season, maybe next or halfway through the year, depending what happens. But it is interesting to see that only one of them are going to be traded. So you can put the rest, most of the conversations about trading both of them. And I'll pop it up one more time here. So they basically said, they also mentioned that they could bring in a center fielder and move Springer to right field, which is something me and you have touched on a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking of a Brandon Nimmo type player. And they also mentioned that Tapia and Zimmer are non-tender candidates, so neither may be back. I'd be surprised if Zimmer was back. Tapia more likely, but I think their aspirations are higher than Tapia. But I'd say they stick with. Actually, I don't really know. I feel like there's a world where they move Teoscar to get, because he has more value than Lourdes, just because of his Silver Slugger, repertoire. But whoever they don't move, they need to extend the other, because as the article and report said, they're going to be free agents next year.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would definitely, I'm leaning more towards moving Lourdes Gurriel. I don't want to move Teoscar Hernandez just because we know how much of a superstar hitter he is. He's shown it over the past few seasons, and those don't grow on trees, even in the corner outfields where there are a lot of great hitters around the MLB. So I'm leaning more towards trading Lourdes Gurriel if we were to deal one of them, and I'm looking to bring in a player that's just as good as him that hits from the left side.
Yeah,
That's what you want.
yeah, get a lefty in there, and hopefully someone who can maybe play center field to give Springer rest in right field. Because obviously Nor I guess Teoscar could maybe play center, but Lourdes definitely is not playing center field and will never play center field. So we bring in a lefty, switching up the lineup, getting some more balance and some more power because obviously Lourdes had a down season power wise last year. I don't think that'll stay. I think he'll hit 10 to 15, but someone with a bit more power. But it's good to touch on that. Let's get into the next topic here now, which is some potential blockbuster trades. Now,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Yahoo Sports posted a piece there a few days ago, and there was two trades we're going to highlight in this one. The first one is kind of the bigger one, and the other one was just the other trade they had in the article. So I'll bring up the first one here now, which is Blue Jays get, or this is actually not the biggest one, but this is one of them that popped up. Blue Jays get Dylan Carlson and Jordan Montgomery in exchange for Alejandro Kirk and Teoscar Hernandez. And their explanation there, we'll get into that after. Let's get your opinion on that though first. So Carlson and Montgomery for Kirk and Teo.
That's a steep price. That's a very steep price to pay. I mean, Jordan Montgomery has had a couple of good seasons now. Showed what he could do with the Yankees. Showed what he could do with the Cardinals. But I don't know if it's worth Teoscar Hernandez and Alejandro Kirk. Obviously, Dylan Carlson has a lot of potential, but he hasn't panned out yet as a major leaguer. If that was Tommy Edman instead of Dylan Carlson, maybe we could be talking about something there. But no, I don't think I'm willing to do that. Even if Teoscar's an expiring deal, even if Alejandro Kirk might not repeat the same type of season that he had this past year, I'm not willing to part ways with those two guys for those two guys. It's not a fair trade in my opinion.
Yeah, I had it up there so you guys could read it while Peter was talking. So I'll briefly touch on their explanation. Basically, makes sense on multiple levels. Cardinals need catching. Toronto needs some variety. And then Montgomery and Hernandez both on expiring contracts. This is a hitting for pitching swap like our first trade. I don't think that hurt. I think Hernandez is more value than Jordan Montgomery, despite his hot, I guess, play with the Cardinals. And then the lefty Montgomery can slide as an excellent third or fourth starter, depending on how Barrios looks. I just don't think there's any world that we do this. Kirk is just too valuable. I think he would have the net you, like you said, someone like Tommy Edman, Tommy Edman, or not Dylan Carlson yet. He's just not proven enough. I think Kirk is definitely the kryptonite there. I think you'd have to get something more than that if you're giving up Kirk and Teoscar. Literally, you're like
one of them. If you give up one of them, then yeah, maybe that's a fair package. I mean, Jordan Montgomery, he's been good over his career. He always hovers around a 3.7, 3.8 ERA, a reliable 3-4 starter, and that's what the Blue Jays need. They don't have much depth in their starting rotation, but to give up two of your middle of the order bats for that and Dylan Carlson doesn't make sense.
yeah, no chance. Especially not if, yeah, again, you're giving up your, I guess, wherever Kirk hit. So like, would it depend? Like four and five hitter for those players? I don't think so. Let's get into the this is the big trade one. We'll touch on it briefly because we'll probably have some more videos. But this is Sandy Alcantara and Miguel Rojas for Bo Bichette and Gabby Moreno. Deal swaps pure offense.
Ooh.
Toronto's greatest strength. With and Alcantara, obviously, we talked about it off camera. His contract's phenomenal. But you're giving up Bo and Gabby. So what are your thoughts on this one?
Oh, I love this trade. Alcantara is just unbelievable. He's signed until 2027 with a club option for that 2027 season. For 5 years, $56 million for a guy who threw 230 innings last year. He had a 2.28 ERA. He's just unbelievable. He throws 100 miles an hour. He's a workhorse. He doesn't miss starts. Man, I think you would have to give up a lot more to get a package like this. If the Marlins called the Blue Jays tomorrow and said, "Hey, we want Bo Bichette and Gabby Moreno for Sandy Alcantara and Miguel Rojas," I'm doing that trade in a minute. And I honestly don't think the package is enough that's going to Miami.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I'll pop it up one more time for you guys. Their explanation basically just says Alcantara will win the Cy Young this year, meaning likely it'll take a player of Bichette's caliber to prime from the rebuilding Marlins, and then it touches on Rojas. But I would agree. I think that I was looking at some other reports, and we might have a video breaking this down in the future. They were saying that to get Alcantara, people were talking about a Vladdy Jr. for Alcantara swap. I don't think the Jays do that. I think the Marlins might have interest in doing that, but it would take someone a bit more valuable than Bo. But you're also giving up Gabby, so let me know in the comments what you guys think about that one. I don't think it's enough. I think Sandy's just too elite.
I mean, he had an 8.1 wins above replacement this past season. Now, he was the best pitcher in the National League, like by a long shot. It wasn't even close. he was so much better than everybody, and he was dominant all year long. 178 ERA plus. Now throwing all these advanced metrics at you, but just to put it simply, the guy throws 100 on the corners. He doesn't walk anybody. He's just so elite. He's a workhorse, and you know that you're getting an ace for at least the next 5 seasons, 6 seasons, which
Yeah,
is
2027.
very tough to find.
Yeah.
Very hard to find. They don't grow on trees.
Yep, it would be 5 more years at a reasonable price. Who knows? We'll keep an eye on the situation. I don't think that they do it, but I don't think the Marlins would do it. That is, Blue Jays would probably do it in a heartbeat at another piece of location.
Yeah, I don't mean to cut you off here, Nick, but another thing, Miguel Rojas, that the Blue Jays are getting in return. Now you might say, "Oh, we're giving up our shortstop. Who's going to play there?" Well, Miguel Rojas has been a Gold Glove caliber type defender at shortstop. He can play all around the diamond. If you don't want to play him there, you have Santiago Espinal on your team, who pretty damn good defender wherever you put him.
Yeah, or you look for a Carlos Correa or make another trade and sign someone else. You still have Kirk. And other people if you want to dangle those trades around. But obviously, if you're giving up Moreno, most of your trades are probably off the table. But we'll get into the third and not final, but third topic here, which is Ross Stripling calls out the MLB and also briefly, maybe hints at his future as a Blue Jay. So we'll get into that here now. So this is regarding the video I made yesterday about Matt Chapman not winning the Gold Glove. It says, I'm open to all analytics and metrics in our game. Besides the ones that say Matt Chapman isn't the best third baseman in the AL, those metrics can eat my shorts. So we'll only touch on the last two topics briefly as we're running out of time here. But Ross Stripling, I agree with him. I think Chapman should have won it. Obviously, elite elite defense by Urias. But what are your thoughts on that whole debacle?
Well, it means to me that Ross Stripling is staying in the six. I mean, why else would he be defending his teammates when his contract is up? Yeah, sure, maybe he's good friends with them and good buddies. But there was another tweet that he sent out where it's like, what about the metrics that say Vladdy is the best first baseman in baseball? And he replied, well, those metrics can stay. Like
Yeah.
he's basically going to bat for all of his boys, all the guys that are playing defense behind him when he's out there on that mound. And I mean, to me, it just seems that he's going to be back in Toronto next year. What else could that possibly mean?
I mean, he could just be because he's still technically employed by the Blue Jays since free agency hasn't started.
Sure.
So he could just be, supporting the current team he's on. But it's always fun to speculate. And yeah, the Gold Glove thing, it's not even worth having a conversation anymore at this point. Urias won it. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing his name right. Probably aren't, but he won it. And he had some phenomenal defensive play there. So we'll move into the final topic. Shout out to Ross Stripling for calling out the MLB, though. He's the homie. Chafin was released by the Tigers. This is the final topic of the video. We touched on this briefly. We were going to make a whole video about this, but Andrew Chafin to decline option with Tigers. Tigers reliever Chafin will decline a $6.5 million option for 2023 free agency, so 5 days after the World Series. Now, I will give you Chafin's stats here. 0.3 WAR, 2-3, 2.83 ERA, 57 innings pitched, and 64 games played. Lefty reliever. He could pair really well with Tim Meza. Is it someone the Jays go after? I'm not sure, but it is definitely something to keep an eye out on.
Absolutely. I mean, you can never have too many lefties in your bullpen. And Andrew Chafin, although he's not the sexiest name on the free agent market, or he's not the most attractive piece that the Blue Jays could go out there and get, that's the type of sneaky piece could really put you over the top. Now, you said he was with the Tigers this past year. If you recall, they had an unbelievable bullpen. Now, they weren't a very good team, but when they did find a way to get a lead in a game, it would lock it down because their bullpen was just dominant, and he played a big role in that. He threw over 60 innings this past season, and that's not something to not look twice at, I should say. And he's definitely someone that could help the Blue Jays bullpen out because they don't have many lefties in there.
Yeah, I've been preaching for a certain lefty reliever on the Tigers who's not named Andrew Chafin, Gregory Soto. But if we get one lefty from the Tigers, if we get Chafin, I'd be pleasantly surprised. And again, it's like you said, it's a move that the Jays need to make these type of moves, whether it's with Chafin or a different player to strengthen their bullpen, and they need to make more moves. But just want to let you guys know about that report in case you guys didn't see it, and we'll definitely keep you up to date with Chafin and all things Blue Jays as we are on the road to 1K. We're so close. Thank you guys again for the support. It means more than you can even imagine, and we're almost about to hit our goal after however long it's been, 2 months or so, a bit longer than that maybe. But yeah, thank you guys a lot.
It's just been an unbelievable ride, and can't wait to keep it going, Nick.
Yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow.